Alan Newcastle sits alone watching YouTube videos on his computer when suddenly he hears an all-too-familiar cry for help.
There is no expectation of privacy in public.
There's no need to fear. Hezokai is here. The following video contains various idiots saying stupid things. As a result, you may lose several IQ points by viewing. Although Hezokai's commentary may lessen this effect, the producers of this video cannot guarantee hearing these morons speak will not cause permanent intellectual damage to the viewer. You have been warned. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Overbiter, and today we got something special. We're talking about fraudsplaining. For those of you who don't know, what frauditors like to do whenever a police officer explains anything, they call it copsplaining, which apparently from their point of view is the officer randomly making up nonsense to try and charge you with stuff. You know, making up lies like you need a driver's license to drive, and if you get asked to leave a place and you don't leave, that's called trespassing. You know, stuff that intelligent people know is true, but they call it just stupid copsplaining, and that's supposed to be an insult. So I've decided to put together some clips of what I call fraudsplaining, which is frauditors trying to make up a bunch of random nonsense to explain why they do what they do. The very first clip I'm going to show is Craig from CHTY Audits. He has a guest on his panel who's talking about how he got pulled over, and the cop had the audacity to ask him for his driver's license. And Craig is going to use a wonderful fraudsplaining technique called false equivalency. And he's going to try and equate a cop asking you for ID to getting physically assaulted. Check it out.
This is insane. And the craziest part to me about it was, like, after I was telling people, like, what happened, they're like, why didn't you just show them your ID? And I'm like, because I don't fucking have to. Like, I don't fucking have to do that.
Like, one, you know, when a guy runs up and tries to punch me, my first instinct isn't to just, like, give him what he wants, you know?
Yeah, it's like...
All right, so that was just a quick little clip to give an idea of what I mean by false equivalency. And now let's watch a compilation of Rogue Nation using false equivalencies while he was being interviewed by Frauditor Troll.
Can you see why that worries these guards?
Again, because I actually have personal experience, I'm gonna have to say no. Let me ask you this: how did drugs and cell phones get into the prison? If I was to tell you that in the prison that I was in, it was easier to get drugs than on the street, would you consider that a high security area? I don't even have to talk to the police.
Okay, so you're being perfectly quiet.
Yes, it's called a silent audit. Yes.
And that is extremely weird. Wouldn't you understand that?
Why, you never met someone that was mute?
You're not, obviously.
But how do they know that?
You would respond in some way to show that you are mute.
Then we have One Wing Hero for $10. Thank you for the support. Assholes may have right, but that doesn't mean they have the right to be assholes without consequence. If you're being an asshole to people, why don't people have the right to retaliate? That makes sense. Makes total sense.
Well, I could tell you that, you know, in my life working in the private industry, I couldn't retaliate against customers that were being assholes or I'd lose my job.
Right.
Okay, but the public servants, they could treat us like shit and they still keep their jobs.
You have to be a decent human being, but all your videos, everything I've seen, what you frauditors do, it's not decent. I mean, it's nothing for, it's just clout.
Tell me can you tell me what tarring and feathering is? Or they could be harassing other citizens like we see on daily videos. Right, I understand.
No, we see you guys harassing people. I mean, Troll actually
I'm talking about videos from nobody that's even connected with the auditing community.
I like
for example, There was a 71-year-old man passing out his card, his political card, at the University of Florida in January, okay? And he got roughed up by some cops that didn't know the law.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Lisa Sicasio. New at noon, a Democratic congressional candidate is behind bars after a disturbance on UF campus. 71-year-old Thomas Wells was arrested on a charge of resisting or obstructing an officer. UFPD got reports of a man harassing students at an event in Flavitt Field yesterday afternoon. The event coordinator said Wells was handing out campaign material. He was asked to leave, but officers say he refused. Police say he actively resisted their efforts to escort him out. Wells is running to unseat Republican Representative Kat Cammack.
If it's not the fact that you're recording, and I think everyone would agree with that, it's not the fact that you're recording, it's how you do it. And how you do it is you do it in the most obnoxious, aggressive way you can to get a reaction. When you go into an airport, there's dozens of people with cameras, but they're not acting like you.
Okay, and how do I act? Like, give me an example. Like, you're me. Say what I would say. Do what I would do.
You know.
Yeah, be honest. Tell me exactly what I would do that causes confrontation.
Yes, can I help you?
Can I ask what you're doing?
You can ask, but I don't usually share it.
Well, I'm just curious because some of the women in here are getting a little intimidated with you walking around with the camera.
Uncomfortable?
Mm-hmm.
Here, hold on. Here, hold on.
I'd just like to have an answer for him.
Can you ask him the point on the doll where it's making him uncomfortable? Because I have some salve to rub on to make him feel a little bit more comfortable.
I'm also very uncomfortable with that, sir.
Do you need do you want me to call the ambulance?
If you did not interject yourself into your own story, which any journalist will tell you is journalism 101. You don't interject yourself into the story, which you do every single video you make.
So you don't remember the reporters from 60 Minutes back in the 70s doing the in-your-face interview?
Yeah, that's disgusting. I know.
Keep watching.
Oh my God, man.
Can you get off my driveway, please? Can you get off my driveway?
Yeah, that is disgusting. Paparazzis are real pieces of shit.
No, this is normal news.
That's the news. That's not paparazzi. That's the news.
Look,
yeah,
auditors don't do this. Auditors don't do this. Auditors don't do this.
Oh, just get out of here with that, bro.
All right, dude. You should call the police.
No, you should get the fuck out of here.
You should call the police, dude.
Get out of here, bro.
Don't be a douche.
No, you don't be a douche, bro.
All right.
Stop recording.
Here, let me get.
Bro. Stop recording.
Let me get your plate real quick. Hold on.
No, you should stop recording, bro.
Z397KT.
Stop recording, bro.
Dude, call the police.
No, you can get the fuck out of here, bro.
Call the police.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Cool. Karen's in the wild.
Fuck you, fucking asshole. Fuck you. Fucking piece of shit. Fucking weirdo tax stealer, waste of tax dollars.
So we're here to mess with the cops, pretty much. That thing's been filming like 30 seconds prior you turned the button on.
This guy is mad. What's wrong with you?
Hey, Pornstash, that thing was filming like 30 seconds prior since you turned it on.
Morning.
All right, good job. Get out of here.
No, you're done when I tell you you're done. Do you understand that? You work for me. So how about this? Let's try this. You'll close your mouth and speak when spoken to. Next, I'll give you a treat if you sit, stay, and roll over. Get out of my building and parking lot.
You understand this is a public sidewalk, right?
Don't.
You get that, right? You get that? Are you smart enough to figure that out?
Evidently not.
You fuck off.
You fuck you.
Eat a bag of dicks and suck
Eat
a what, bitch?
Eat it.
Now what?
Eat it.
You shut the fuck up and go back inside.
Make us
motherfucker,
leave.
Bye.
Make us leave.
Bam.
Make us leave.
Bam. Bam. Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch.
Who the hell you think you
Running
are?
your fucking yipper yapper. Shut up and go back inside, mother.
Them bald ones, man, their heads are fried from the sun.
Yeah.
Skinhead. Hair don't grow where the brain is dead. Skinhead.
Eat it and go back inside, man.
Eat a whole bag to keep you busy the rest of the afternoon.
Bye, Lord ass.
Worrying about what we're doing on a public sidewalk. Dummy. Stop, you big dummy.
Talk to me like that.
Motherfucker. I said back up.
Back up, dude. Back up. Back up, dude. No, you do. Back up.
Now keep watching. It gets better.
You see the news.
It's an American tradition.
You wanted that video shown to show how disgusting it is, but you're saying that auditors should be able to conduct.
Yeah, it was a bad example. Like,
well,
I
welcome
never
to
saw
America.
That before.
It's
I
an
never
American.
saw that before, but I understand what Mr. Carroll was saying. It's like, not because these guys are being pieces of shit that you should aspire to do the same thing.
Poster 7 reminds our servants what they can and cannot do. In other words, they're not allowed to stop us from doing what's legally allowed.
It says it right there, other authorized personnel, except as prohibited. So that means that other authorized personnel can prohibit you from taking news purpose photographs, and anything else can be prohibited by the postmaster.
Follow me here, because this is where we're getting into logic. Okay. Now, if it says other photographs may only be taken with the postmaster's permission, logically, we have to assume that some photographs have been given permission already to be taken, right?
Right. The ones for news purposes. The ones for news
we can agree it's for the news purposes, right? We've been given permission from the Postmaster General and the Postmaster Board. News purposes can take photographs, correct? Are we agreement here?
Unless instructed.
It says
otherwise,
it may be taken.
Post
It
office.
may be taken, and it can be prohibited. We're not even on the last paragraph here. It says it may be taken and can be prohibited by the security force personnel or other authorized personnel. For example, a worker.
But they're run by the government, but they don't get government funding. You guys keep saying that.
Oh, yeah. No, because, once they were built their palaces and given their fleet of trucks, then they were cut off to say that they made money off stamps. Yeah, it's really interesting. But
Building he's talking about are limited public forums. Okay, thank you for the support. And it's true, they are, right? Aren't they?
they could listen. They could be the limited magic, no recording ever allowed in a million years form, and that has no bearing.
And another problem that we're seeing in policing is police officers coming in red hot for somebody that's not committing a crime. How many lives do you think were endangered? No wonder they always come in guns blazing.
Coming in hot, guns blazing? What the hell are you talking about? Those cops are not even doing anything. Who is this guy? This isn't Rogue Nation. What else does this idiot have to say?
When police officers don't know the laws, when they don't know that you have rights, oftentimes they'll arrest folks and they'll even say things like, "This is not the place to settle it. You'll have your day in court." But let's think about that, folks. Is that not the true definition of contempt of court, where you're the one tying up the courts? Why is it that when you go to court and you speak out of turn, the judge can say you're in contempt of court? But if an officer arrests somebody and violates their civil rights, how are they not in contempt of court? In fact, folks, there's never really any repercussions to the officer when that happens. They're allowed to go do it again, which solidifies exactly what I'm talking about.
All right. Wait a minute. Everyone keeps telling me that frauditors are nothing like sovereign citizens at all, but that sure sounds like sovereign citizen rhetoric to me. But that must just be that one guy. That's not something that is common among frauditors, is it?
So the technicality here is that you're saying to represent yourself, and we have to look more clearly legally what that means, okay? The fact represent, right? You're present in court. So to represent yourself when you're already there, right, is redundant, and it makes no sense. If you have to stand your ground in status, and your status is to protect your status as a man. Again, when you're called even as a defendant, you shouldn't be referring to yourself as a defendant, because that's a lowering of your status as a man, okay? You weren't created as a defendant. A defendant is something that someone's trying to put upon you, right? Without the authority or the justification to do that, okay? Because they're not following the system. Here's the thing, is that most of the time these courts gain jurisdiction by deceit. They don't have legitimate jurisdiction. However, they deceive the people into complying or to consenting to their jurisdiction. I wouldn't even want to get to that because I don't believe that most of the time they even have jurisdiction. If they do, then they probably have my status wrong too. And between those two things is unlikely. And then the standing is something where, I mean, that just comes in who's being harmed and what, and the body of the crime and all these kinds of things. And that's usually pretty weak too. If you know you're going to get screwed, like a traffic hearing or something like that, it's best to do everything kicking and screaming to not just let them have that jurisdiction that they don't really rightfully have.
Oh, absolutely. I even asked the judge for proof of jurisdiction. He refused to give it to me.
All right, guys, that pretty much wraps it up for this one. And don't forget to love them bootlickers.
What?